Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to be talking about the kettlebell two-hand deadlift. This is a simple exercise, but we are going to teach this exercise because we are doing a series of kettlebell videos as if you were learning kettlebells with a private instructor in a studio. This is the first exercise that you would like to work on because all other exercises are built off of this structure. Let's step up to the kettlebell, 2 feet pointed straight ahead. Feet pointed straight ahead is fairly important because it's going to allow us to move into stepping patterns easier later on. Start with the kettlebell directly between the insteps of your feet. Put your hands in the folds of your hip, push your hips back, put your weight in your heels, drive your shoulders away from your ears and sit back as far as you can. If you feel like you're about to fall over, you're probably far enough back. Stand all the way up. Straighten your legs, squeeze your glutes at the top, drive your shoulders away from your ears. Sit back in your heels, get down, eyes up. Stand all the way up, squeeze the glutes, get all the way down, touch down. Stand all the way up, squeeze the glutes, get all the way down. 3 things we want to fire. We want to pull our kneecaps up and squeeze our quads. We want to tuck our tailbone underneath to squeeze our glutes, and we want to drive our rib cage down. Those are universal principles and they will carry over through all of kettlebelling. Our feet should be about shoulder distance apart. When we get back, our knee should be behind the line of our toe. If our knees are driving forward, sit back, 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 put your weight in your heels. Crown to coccyx alignment. When we stand up, squeeze your quads. Pull the kneecaps up to flex these muscles. Squeeze your glutes. If your tailbone is dumping back, tuck it underneath so that your belly is flat and your glutes can be tight. From here, drive the rib cage down to make your abdominal wall as solid as possible. Let's demonstrate it again. The more times we listen to the learning process, the better we will get. Step up to your kettlebell, feet pointed straight ahead, feet shoulder width apart. Good crown to coccyx alignment. Focus on the glute squeeze at the top. Make your quads strong. Arms track down the insides of the legs. Sit back in your heels. Fire your lats. Stand all the way up. Squeeze all the muscles. Sit down, weight in the heels. Stand all the way up, squeeze everything as hard as you can, get all the way down. Stand up, squeeze, get all the way down. Stand all the way up without the weight. Normally this is just done as maybe 2 to 3 sets of 10 total reps at the beginning of training to make sure that an athlete is cueing in on quad tightness, on glute squeeze, on pelvic tilt, and on crown to coccyx alignment and core engagement. This is just meant to help people learn the bottom part of the load for a future two-handed kettlebell swing. In the next video, we will talk about a two-handed kettlebell swing, and we're gonna keep going through this process of learning as it would be done in studio with private one-on-one training. Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are gonna talk about the two-hand kettlebell swing. This is the second video in a series where we are detailing kettlebell instruction as if you were getting personal instruction in a kettlebell studio. The first video, we talked about the setup of the two-handed kettlebell deadlift, which is a preparatory exercise for this exercise, the most important exercise you will ever learn, the two-hand kettlebell swing. Take 1 step back from the kettlebell, 12 to 18 inches, same setup. Feet pointed straight ahead, approximately shoulder width apart. Hands in the crease of the hip, push your weight back. Now the kettlebell is out in front of you. Grab with 2 hands, palms facing towards the ground. Hike the weight back, stand up and snap the hips. Hike back, snap. Hike back, snap. Hike back, snap. Hike back, snap. Hike back. Track the kettlebell out in front of you. Set it down with good technique. Deload the body. Stand all the way up. The setup for the two-handed swing is almost exactly the same as it is for the two-handed deadlift. In the two-handed deadlift, the kettlebell moves straight up and down in a line. When we move into the swing, we start to swing the weight and it becomes curvilinear. The weight is moving from front to back and up to down at the same time. The driver of this exercise is the glutes and standing up all the way straight. That means straight legs. Heels in the ground, drive the knees back, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone, drive the rib cage down. If any one of those elements is missing, people are in danger of hurting themselves. Learning all of these coaching cues is the most important thing that you will do in your kettlebell journey. Let's repeat it again. Starting from standing with the kettlebell between our feet, take a step back 12 to 18 inches. Point the feet straight ahead. Practice from this position, making your legs perfectly straight by driving the knees back. Squeeze the quads, pull the kneecaps up, stand up. Tuck the tailbone underneath to pull the belly button towards the spine and squeeze the glutes. If your glutes are not squeezed, this is what you need to practice. This is the important part. If you tuck your tailbone back, your lower back will be doing the work, not your glutes, not your abs. Tuck underneath, drive the rib cage down at the top. Drive your shoulders down away from your ears to fire the lats. Starting position, hands in the crease of the hip, push your weight back, knees behind the toes. 2 hands on the kettlebell, tip it towards you. Fire the lats now, keep them engaged the entire time. Push the weight back. Push, snap, push, snap, push, snap, push, snap, push, snap. Set the weight all the way down. Stand all the way up with good technique. There are a bunch of ways you can do a swing, and different styles of kettlebellers will do this exercise slightly differently. This is the most generic, the easiest to learn version of this exercise. At the bottom of this position, the tailbone should be below the line of the chest. Think about the chest pointing generally straight ahead and the eyes looking out at a 45-degree angle. When we stand up, our crown to coccyx alignment stays generally the same. If our head is moving around or doing anything weird, or if we are looking forward and craning our neck, we are going to cause ourselves discomfort instead of getting the athletic benefit that we desire. Crown to coccyx alignment, get down, weight in the heels, stand up strong. We are not lifting the weight with our shoulders. We are using the big muscles of our legs, not the small muscles of our shoulders. This is not an arm exercise. This is a leg, booty, hamstring, ab exercise. This exercise is done as an EMOM in the beginning. That means every minute on the minute. Set a timer for 1 minute. Have it repeat for 10 minutes. Do a small number of reps, usually starting with 6 reps inside of the minute. Do 6 reps. Set the weight down, wait for the minute to finish, and do it again. Change your focus on one thing every time. Minute 1, drive the knees back, drive your heels into the ground. On minute 2, focus on squeezing the glutes and tucking your tailbone underneath. On set 3, focus on driving your rib cage down. On set 4, try to get quads and glutes at the same time. On set 5, try and get glutes and abs at the same time. And keep changing one focal point each time. You can get better faster if you focus on one muscular contraction at a time and then add them all up. The two-handed swing is your most important exercise. Think of it like your barbell deadlift with light weights with more reps. If you get this basic exercise, then you can build a foundation for all future athletic training. Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about the kettlebell around the world. This is the 3rd video in a series where we are doing basic kettlebell instruction as if you were getting personal training in a private kettlebell studio. First thing that we learn is our two-handed deadlift. Then we start on our basic two-handed swing pattern because we want to have the most practice with those 2 fundamental patterns because all other things are based on top of that. This is a core exercise drill which is going to focus on our standing structure and our core exercise mobility and getting comfortable with moving the kettlebell between our hands. We're going to step up to our kettlebell any way we want, put our feet all the way together. That means the instep of our feet all the way together and our heels all the way together. No turnout. Pick up the kettlebell with good technique, heels flat on the ground. Pass the kettlebell around your body, change hands, and we're going to do 20 reps one way, 20 reps the other way. The goal is to let our arms be perfectly straight when we do the transition. We do not want to keep a bent elbow. Make your arms straight. Transition, thumb side to thumb side. In the back, same thing, thumb side to thumb side. Around the body. After we've completed 20 reps, we will go the other direction. We need to be equally good at going both ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, build up to 20, get the weight in front of you, set it down with good technique, keeping your heels flat on the ground, stand all the way up. When the kettlebell is on one side of your body, if it's in front of you, the muscles in your back fire. When the kettlebell moves to the right side of your body, the muscles on the left side of your body fire. When it moves to the back of your body, the muscles in the front side of your body fire, and so on. We are working on getting our core to fire in this basic pattern first. This is a simple core firing drill. Not everybody needs it forever, but it will always be a good idea to incorporate an exercise like this into your dynamic warm-up. With 20 reps one way and 20 reps the other way, you have fired your core 40 times in the standing position, which is the most important position for your core to fire in. We would like to train our core to fire standing up, not laying down like doing sit-ups or doing V-ups or some other things. The thing that we are most interested in is core firing when we're moving a weight from one hand to another and with our feet on the ground. The most important thing to do is to pick it up without getting hurt. In order to accomplish that, we are going to step up to the bell with our feet all the way together. We do not want to have our toes turned out. We are not doing ballet here. Oftentimes when people turn out, they will roll their ankle and their knee in. We are specifically training out of that by putting our feet all the way together. Just by putting our feet all the way together and passing the weight around our body, we are going to cause the muscles of our feet to fire and the arches of our feet to fire so we can strengthen our feet, our ankles, our knees, our hips, and therefore our back. Step up to the bell, feet all the way together, hands in the crease of the hip, get down, weight in the heels. Stand all the way up. Squeeze the glute at the top. If your glute is fired, the bottom of your core is fired. Make your arms perfectly straight. Drive the weight away from your ear. Pass it around the body. Try not to keep flexed elbows when doing this. Make your arms as straight as possible, and you'll see the body shift to counterbalance the weight. After you reach the required number of reps, go the other direction. We should be equally good at doing both directions. To set the weight down, get it in front of you, track it down. Don't crush your toes, set the weight down, stand up with good technique. Things that people will do wrong, they will not put their feet all the way together, they will turn out, and when they pass the weight around their body, their knee is going to start doing something weird. First things first, feet together, point them straight ahead. Second thing, straighten the legs out, tuck the tailbone underneath, eyes look straight out in the distance. The next thing people will do is they will hike their shoulders up and they will bend their elbows. Shoulders away from the ears, arms long. At some point they're gonna have to bend, but we want them to be straight when they pass the sideline of our body. We would like to start by doing at least 2 sets of 20 on each side. That means do 20 counterclockwise, do 20 clockwise, then repeat. 20 counterclockwise, 20 clockwise. 20 plus 20 is 40, times 2 is 80. You will fire your core 80 times just by doing this basic drill to prepare it for more advanced athletic training moving forward. Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to work on the Kettlebell single direction halo. This video is part of a greater series of videos where we are detailing step by step the process of learning kettlebells from the ground up. In this video, we are going to focus on a halo. This is a shoulder mobility drill and an arm activation drill. In the beginning, you will focus on doing 2 sets of 5 each direction. That means 5 with your right hand going past your left ear, 5 with your left hand going past your right ear, and then repeat the same thing again for a total of 20 reps. 5 each way, twice for a total of 20. The most important part is to pick the kettlebell up without getting hurt. In order to accomplish that, we're going to use the same pickup technique that we used from the previous video where we worked on the kettlebell around the world. Step forward to the kettlebell, feet together, 2 feet pointed straight ahead. Hands go into the folds of the hip, put your weight in your heels, go down. Thumbs pick up, kettlebell, globe towards the sky, arm at 90-degree angles. Separate your feet, shoulder width apart, feet pointed straight ahead. Right hand goes past the left ear, all the way around the head. 5 total reps. Rotate around the head. Inhale at the back, exhale at the front. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Change directions. Left hand towards right ear. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Straighten your arms all the way out. Bring your feet together, point your feet straight ahead, track down, set the weight down with good technique. Stand all the way up. This is a basic shoulder mobility and activation drill. Couple of things we want to focus on. We want to focus on driving our shoulders away from our ears, and we would like our elbow to start at our hip with our arm at a 90-degree angle. We do not want our arm higher than that. We do not want our elbows out, and we do not want our elbows behind you. Put your elbows on your body, lower your hands down until this is a 90-degree angle. If our elbows track back, people tend to lift their rib cage up and not do this as a core exercise. Everything in kettlebells should be and is a core exercise if done correctly. Drive the rib cage down, squeeze the glutes, push the elbows forward, 90 degrees. If our hands are too high, it is going to compromise our wrist position. Drive down until our knuckles are in line with the bones of our arm. If the hand is too high, it makes it hard to close the top of your hand in the beginning. This structure translates to heavy club structure and to mace structure later on. So this theme carries through a bunch of different athletic pursuits, and it starts to build into athletic throwing patterns. With all of those points in mind, let's do it again. Step up to the bell, feet pointed straight ahead, arms perfectly straight when you pick it up. Get down, thumbs point forward. Grasp the kettlebell, stand up, flip the kettlebell up. The heavy part is on top. Do not let the kettlebell rest on your body. Do not have your elbows out. Elbows tight, push the weight forward so that it is off your frame. Squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. Get to a comfortable foot distance with your feet pointed straight ahead. Right hand goes past opposite ear. Around the head. In this back position, your arms should be bent beyond 90 degrees. The kettlebell should be touching the nape of your neck. Continue all the way around. Elbow goes towards hip. Around the head, and pause. Around the head, pause. With your arm at that 90-degree angle, drive the shoulders away from the ears. When you've completed 5 reps, go the other direction for 5. Left hand towards right ear. Around the head, pause. Around the head, pause. Things that people will do in the beginning is they will try to duck their head under the bell. They will try to duck their head under the bell and they will compromise their neck posture. Keep your eyes up, pointed straight ahead. Move the bell around your head, not your head around the bell. To set it down, straighten your arms all the way out. Get our feet together, which is just a simple coaching cue to keep it in line with our around the world, and get the weight down with your heels on the ground. Stand up with good technique. This is a bicep exercise. It is a tricep exercise. It is a shoulder mobility exercise, and it is most definitely a core exercise. Whichever side of your body the bell is on, the muscles on the other side of your body in the core are trying to fire. When it's in front of you, the muscles of your back fire. When it's to one side, the opposite side of your core fires. When the weight is behind you, your rectus abdominis fires to keep you from being ripped in half. Maintain good crown to coccyx alignment. That means tailbone to the top of your skull. Keep your eyes pointed straight ahead. Move the kettlebell around your head, not your head around the kettlebell. 2 sets of 5 each direction as part of your warm-up in all of your basic workouts.